From pieces of the ruins of Pompeii in Italy to cursed mummy caskets, here are your top 10 cursed items from around the world that can possess you. In our number 10 spot, we have items from Pompeii. Apparently over the years, it has become a sort of thing where people that have stolen from the ruins of Pompeii in Italy, they always end up returning what they stole. Apparently the site gets hundreds of packages of returned pieces and items with letters saying that this person has received terrible misfortune since taking this item, or this person has received terrible financial lows. So of course now the managers of the site warn the people to not take anything, as they will be cursed for many years to come. It is unclear if the people that took the items continued to be cursed even after they returned them, but honestly I suppose it depends on how long they plan to punish themselves mentally for doing something so ridiculous in the first place. In our number 9 spot, we have the coffin-shaped chests. There is a legend in New Orleans called the Legend of the Casket Girls, and when French women were sent to the city for marriage arrangements, it is said that these girls carried coffin-shaped chests with their belongings. The chests were kept in the attic of a convent, but their belongings went missing. The nuns thought there was some demonic presence taking the belongings of these girls, and so they had the chests nailed shut, and then they locked the attic, and it was later blessed by the Pope. Apparently in 1978, 2 reporters decided to put this legend to the test, and they broke into the attic. Apparently they were found dead the next morning, their heads on the ground, and they were drained of all of their blood. Wow. Yep, those chests were definitely cursed. In our number 8 spot, we have the unlucky mummy. There is a mummy's case in the British Museum that is known to be cursed. Not the mummy, but the case. The case and mummy are from 950 to 900 BC, and it became known as the unlucky mummy due to the many stories surrounding it that has been believed to have caused a lot of misfortune. Apparently the 4 men that found the mummy at Thebes in the late 1800s all quickly passed away. 2 through violent incidences, and 2 died of poverty. People that have been associated with the mummy or have just touched the case have reported receiving illnesses, getting into accidents, and some have even passed away. There was once a wild rumor that it caused the sinking of the Titanic. One of the passengers was one of the first journalists to write about the curse and the case, and so it was believed that he was cursed, and that led to the sinking. People even believed that the mummy's presence was on board of the ship. Fascinating. In our number 7 spot, we have the haunted ledger. There is a place called Preston Manor, and it was once owned by a family called the Kent family, who claimed that a book caused them to be plagued by ghosts. The ledger dates back to World War I, and apparently it was found in a shop wall in Brighton, and the worker that found it took it home. Not long after, he and his daughter began to have visions of soldiers that had passed away, as well as many other visions. His daughter was told that the book must be returned to Brighton by one of the spirits, and so, of course, out of fear, they gave it to Preston Manor. Many who have touched it have felt that it is haunted, and it's advised not to touch it. In our number 6 spot, we have the Dark Magic Doll. This is a doll that people have made throughout history that is usually made to represent someone you want to inflict pain on, similar to a voodoo doll, and in this case you make the doll look like the person you're thinking of and then you hang it, and this is supposed to make the person you're thinking of get sick and then pass away. So yeah, this type of doll not only can possess you, but also it could potentially take your life. Great. People throughout history have apparently made these dolls, and there are quite a lot of people that believe in them, so who knows if they work or not, but still something to be cautious of. In our number 5 spot, we have the Great Bed of Ware. Apparently there is a bed that is cursed. Makes sense. Honestly, if there was any object that, I would believe to be cursed, I would probably jump on board with the fact that it's probably a bed. Beds hold so much energy, and if you're a little promiscuous, and perhaps a few people have sat on your bed in your lifetime, damn, that's a lot of energy. That might need clearing. So anyways, there is a bed called the Great Bed of Ware from the 15th century, and it was formerly owned by King Edward IV. It was made by a carpenter called Jonas Fosbrook. It is said that after some time had passed, the bed was actually donated to the poor, and the poor mistreated the bed and covered it in graffiti. They say that Jonas Fosbrooks' ghost was very mad about this, and so he now attacks any commoner who sleeps in the bed that isn't, of course, of noble blood. In our number 4 spot, we have the Ouija board. This is a board throughout history that people know that they shouldn't mess around with, but people still do. There have been many reportings of possessions, dark messages, and dark energy when playing this game, and for that reason alone, people should stay away. Is it cursed? Arguably, yes, but it's more of a gamble. People never know who they are talking to, and therefore they could be talking to a dark ghost, and it could latch onto you, they say. Definitely not a good idea to play around with an object with that kind of energy. Whether you believe in it or not, best to be wary of what you don't know. In our number 3 spot, we have the Devil's Rocking Chair. One night in 1980, a boy named David Gletzel woke up from his bed and claimed that he had been visited by a man with big black eyes, a thin face, pointed teeth and ears, and he had horns. David reported many nightmares about a man that promised to take his soul, and he then began to claim that he was seeing the beast when he was awake. He would always see it rocking in a rocking chair in his house, and other family members would see this rocking chair rock back and forth, seemingly under its own power. After David got many exorcisms and improved, his sister's boyfriend, who was also staying in the house, started acting like David was, hissing a lot and speaking in different voices. This drove him to killing someone. After this, the rocking chair was donated to a museum. The museum then started to have some weird things happen to it. Doors started shutting on their own, light switches would turn off, etc. In our number 2 spot, we have the Goddess of Death statue. This statue is kinda strange looking, and honestly at first glance you might think, is this not just any other historical artifact? How is this cursed? Well, the artifact was apparently made around 3500 BC and then was found in 1878, and so it's had many lives and there is a lot of energy associated with it. Apparently of the families it's belonged to over the many years since 1878, each one has been torn apart and ended in death. Weirdly enough, within only 6 years, all 7 members of the first family had all passed away. The same happened for its second owner. After 4 years, the whole family had died. After a third family owned it and 2 people passed away, they had the wisdom to donate the item to a museum. Smart. No one else needs to die because of a silly artifact. In our number 1 spot, we have the Annabelle doll. In the early 1970s, a college girl owned this doll as it was given to her as a gift. Her and her college roommate noticed that the doll would continuously move in their dorm. The doll at some point was believed to have killed a college student on another floor, having been found bloody with a note that said "help." And so after a failed exorcism by Ed and Lorraine Warren, the doll was put into a protection glass box and given to a museum in Connecticut. Yeah, best to never ever go near this doll. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I'm Melissa Melotti, your host. You can follow me on Insta or YouTube at Melissa Melotti. I hope that you have a magical day, and of course, as always, have a good day, sir.